Hello guys. Today I'll be ranking the top 10 NFL QBs using data statistics about with the completions about the completions to interception rates and the yards to attempt rates. So let me explain to you how I got these calculations. So the first one, obviously right here, you could see right here using my cursor that for the yards over the attempts, I just divided the players' passing yards with their attempts to see who made the most yards per attempt. Because obviously, if you were to go off the top 10 using passing yards, it will be Tua, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. But that's not an accurate way of saying. Because if you see here, Jared Goff and Tua Tagovailoa have the most passing yards in the NFL. In the NFL, so some people might think there'll be 1, 2, and 3, but since they have the most attempts in the NFL, they'll probably have the most passing yards in the NFL. And the other one I did was completions to interceptions. So what's the rate? So how many completions they make to how many interceptions. So there I just divided by the completions to interceptions, so you get the completions to interception ratio. Okay, so let's start off with number 10, which is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. So last year, Russell Wilson did not do so good, coming into Denver, but he's really proven himself this year. He has 6.9 passing yards to attempts and 37 completions, 37.1 completion to 1 interception. That means for every 37 completion he does, he throws 1 interception. Obviously, there's many other quarterbacks, but he proven himself in the past, not last year, but like 2018, 2019, the years prior to that, and the years prior to that. So that's why I was between him and Brock Purdy. But here's the thing: Brock Purdy hasn't proven himself nearly as much as Russell Wilson did. So that's why I put Russell Wilson number 10. Number 9 is Tua Tagovailoa, the leading passer. The reason why he has one of the highest yards to attempt this list, and also one of the highest yards to attempt. But the reason why I don't have him higher is because of his weapons. He has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Obviously, Tyreek Hill, one of the best receivers in the league, probably helps Tua because of how fast Tyreek Hill can get around the defenders, giving Tua lots of passing yards. Obviously, he has 8.4 yards per attempt. So for every attempt he made, he gets on average 8.4 yards, and for every 30.9 completion, he gets 1 interception. We just need to see him improve a little bit more. Maybe when Tyreek Hill gets injured, knock on wood. If Tyreek Hill gets injured, if he could still put up the same caliber numbers that he's doing right now, then we'll see. He might do good. Okay. Number 8 is CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud, you might be wondering, why is a rookie so high on this list above Tua and Russell Wilson? Clearly, because listen, CJ Stroud has one of the highest yards per attempt. He has the fewest attempts, but yards per the attempt he gets, he makes it count with 8.1 yard per attempt. And his completions to interception ratio is crazy. Even if you go based on his touchdown to interception ratio, which I'll explain later why I didn't use that metric. It's 21-5. So he has 21 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. But if you look here, for every 59.8 touchdowns, 59.8 completions CJ Stroud has, he has 1 interception, which is I think the best one we have on this list, which I think is one of the best ones I've had on this list. And with little to no weapons, with Tank Dell as his best receiver and target, I think CJ Stroud is a good pick for number 8. And then number 7 is Jalen Hurts. So you might be wondering why Jalen Hurts is above CJ Stroud, because if you look here, the stats aren't nearly as good as CJ Stroud. They're like a whole step down. But Jalen Hurts can do in a rushing game, and also Jalen Hurts has proven himself more. CJ Stroud this is his rookie year. So if we see this same caliber stats again and the same stats from CJ Stroud again, then maybe we could bump him up a little bit more. But as for now, Jalen Hurts proved himself in the past, and he deserves number 7. Okay. So for number 6, I have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow obviously got injured, replaced, um, re- replaced. But when he did play, he had 6.31 yards per attempt and 40.7 completions to interceptions. So for every 40.7 completions he made, he only had 1 interception, which is very good in the time he played. But Joe Burrow probably has some of the worst along with Russell Wilson probably has some of the worst metrics ratios in this whole entire list. But the reason why I can't justify myself to put him out of the top 10 due to his past. He was very good last year with leading the Bengals to the Super Bowl. So I think this just might be a down year. So I don't think this one down year can really push Burrow out of the top 10. Now let's go to number 5. Number 5, I have Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson has 8. He probably has the fewest attempts out of anyone on this list. But the reason, because obviously he runs the ball and with his running abilities is very good. He has 8.1 passing yards per attempt and 43.9 completions to 1 interception, which is better than Joe Burrow, better than Tua. And also, he's on track to win the MVP. Not a lot of these quarterbacks are doing good. No one's, unlike the years prior, no one's on pace for 5,000 yards. No one's on pace for even probably 40 touchdowns. So I think Lamar's probably going to win MVP, and therefore I have him at number 5. Wait, number 4, Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott, many people might disagree with this move. I know many people have to have him in the top 10, but number 4 might be a little stretch. But here's the thing. Dak Prescott has 7.6 yards per attempt, and also he has 47.4 completions to 47.4 completions to interception ratio. But the real reason, same with CJ Stroud, he has 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions this season, which is one of the best ratios a quarterback has from touchdown to interception ratio in the league. And at the end, I'll explain why I didn't use touchdown and interception ratio. It's mainly because of one main reason. So I think because of that, and Dak Prescott has been doing very good in fantasy. I know fantasy is not real life, but fantasy is also an accurate measurement to see how well a player did based on their points, their passing yards, their touchdowns, and and how much interceptions they have. Number 3, I have Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert started off the season very hot, but he died things down. But he slowly died down because of the injuries with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out for the year. So Justin Herbert has 6.9 yards per attempt and 42.4 completions per interception, which is very good. But the main reason why I have him a little higher than Dak Prescott's Lamar is also prior to his past. I feel like this might be a down year, even though this is really not a bad year for Justin Herbert. But I feel like this is one people were expecting. I feel like we can't knock him down too much just for one bad year. Okay, and number two one's between Josh Allen and Mahomes. I have Josh Allen at number 2 and Mahomes at 1. Let me explain why. So, Josh Allen obviously has Mahomes in the yards per attempt, but I feel like more importantly, Mahomes has higher completions to interceptions. So Mahomes has Mahomes has less interceptions but more completions than Josh Allen. Looking at this, and also Mahomes and Josh Allen both have 27 touchdowns, but Mahomes has less interceptions than Josh Allen. And also, looking at this list, they might not have the best ratios, but you have to look on what they did in the past. Josh Allen had been doing very good in build, and for Mahomes, people say this is a bad year when it's still a very good year with over 4,000 yards because people say, oh, he doesn't have 5,000 yards. This is a down year for Mahomes, but this is still a good year. It's like up to his caliber. So you have to take in the past with the what Mahomes have done in the past, making the AFC Championship for like 4 years in a row. Probably what is it now? Like 4 years in a row. So I think Mahomes has to be the clear number one, and also because Josh Allen's not really consistent in the playoffs, while Mahomes is, and that's also a major factor. Okay, so that's my top 10 list, and let me explain why I don't have touchdowns to interception ratios. So sometimes I feel like teams would teams when the QB ends up in a red zone, if your team has a good running back, like let's take Matthew Stafford for example. He has Cam Williams who's like and if you go to rushing yards, let's go to rushing yards for a second. This will be tomorrow's list. So tomorrow I'll rank the top 10 running backs. If you go to touchdowns, we see here that it's rushing touchdowns, Raheem Mostert, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, CMC, Gus Edwards, Montgomery, Calvin Williams. So keep this in mind. Go back to passing touchdowns. Tua doesn't have the most touchdowns just because Raheem Mostert had been stealing. So some coaches, what I'm trying to say is that when the QB ends up in a red zone, it's a coach's decision whether to pass or not. So you can't knock the QB for not having that much touchdowns because at the end of the day, it's a coach's decision to see if they want to run the ball or if they want to pass the ball. So that might take away the rushing yard from the QBs, might take away some of the overall touchdowns from the QB might potentially get. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll explain more in the description below. So what I'm trying to say is that the QBs might have their touchdowns taken away due to their running back stealing all their touchdowns because the coach might want to run the ball in the end zone. Well, that's my list. Tune in for tomorrow for my top 10 running backs, and I'll show you another cool saber metric that you can use to calculate for running backs to see how good they are. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.